You're not on tour, but here you are on tour. How did the name come about?
Yeah, you want to say?
What is life? No, it was a joke. I mean, we started like 10 or 11 years ago as a summer project. We had many friends who used to like go on tours with their other bands. I mean, you do that after a while. So like we're from like a small Mediterranean scene, so everybody plays like in a million bands. So for a short while, I mean all our bands kind of like didn't break up, but we're like on a break because everybody else were on tour. So we're like, hey, there's no like fast hardcore punk band playing in Israel right now.
There's no shows.
Yeah, no shows, no nothing. Let's just start a band for like 30 days until everybody comes back.
Call it not on tour.
Yeah.
And then
everybody
break up
else
after
was.
the summer. Yeah. Call it not on tour, and we break up after the summer. Like this, let's just make like fast songs, and put up a show. And then everybody was like, "You should go on tour. Like you should be a band." And then we.
So what started as a joke has turned into something pretty damn great. Yeah, and serious.
Yeah.
And it does seem, from what I've noticed, you are on tour all the time. Is that?
Yeah, pretty much. Like lately, like the past few years, much more. Yeah.
And where have you been going on tour lately? Over the past couple of years.
He never answers.
I never answer.
I tried
But no,
to figure
actually
it out.
lately now we kind of have a break, like this whole winter. We were
went
just
to
at home.
Japan, and
Yeah, but it was
where else?
Japan,
Russia.
Spain, Russia, lots of Europe.
Portugal, Spain,
Did amazing shows with
Turkey. We went to
Yeah.
Turkey.
Germany
Where
many
else?
times,
Yeah.
Austria, Spain, all over Central Europe really, and also Eastern Europe. We've been to many places actually.
You guys definitely get around.
But UK, not as much. We haven't been here for
I
like
think it's
since
like
the
a
first tour.
Third time or something, right? Maybe second.
It's the second time here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We've only been here once and never in Manchester.
I'm excited to finally get to see you because your music, it's a bit of a mix, which is really appealing. It's got a bit of hardcore, it's got a bit of skate punk, it's got a bit of pop punk even, and you've got some amazing vocals. I don't mean to sound like fangirl, but but also I've heard just something I saw on YouTube of an acoustic, you and the guitarist, just next to a grand piano or something. Oh, that was. It wasn't recent, but your songs.
We do acoustic. Sorry, you.
I was just going to say your songs translate so well into just an acoustic duo, and it's such breadth. Do you plan them that way? Do you write them acoustically, or do you?
Some of them, yeah, but we just do like we adapt them into acoustic versions. And actually, we want to record an acoustic album soon as we can, because a lot of people who don't even listen to punk are like really intrigued by this music because it's actually talking to like to people who are not even like
That's
punks.
actually what my mother said when she heard the new album just recently. She said, "I'd love to hear it acoustic."
Your mother has more sedate tastes, perhaps.
You can say that, yes, definitely.
And your songs, you tackle some pretty big subjects in them. Mental health, society. What drives that? Who does most of the lyric writing out of you guys? What drives you to bring out these subjects and talk about them and get people to think about them?
I guess my life.
That's the best storyteller.
Yeah. It depends, like, but it's my life and what I've been exposed to in my life, and how I was brought up, and it wasn't like an easy life, and I kind of helped myself, grow to a better life and be healthy and sane and like have control over my life and have a good life, and it's possible even if you come from something that is not really pushing you there, and also living in Israel is not is a is a good lesson in life, and how to it's a very stressed out society and very political sometimes. Depends on the timing sometimes, and I think the scene is very small, and I don't know, it drives you to write songs, and I don't know, I guess it's my passion, and this is how I can say things that are maybe not the easiest, or not the nicest, but I want people to have
People should hear about it, think about
and
themselves.
also relate to it, and be like, oh, maybe I can change something, or maybe I can.
I've gone through that too, and if she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, we get back comments about that, so I hope it's doing good,
I think it probably is, because just listening to the lyrics, I could see where so many can relate to it. And you bring up about living in Israel. What is the Israeli scene like? Is it really as small as I think it sounds?
Kind of is. Yeah.
I mean, you could get 200 people at the show, which isn't bad, but that's the entire punk scene, literally, of the entire country. Because
Everybody comes from everywhere.
yeah, it's
to
like
be bigger.
it's like a very small country. I mean, the scenes are you have scenes in 3 major cities, I'd say, maybe 2. And they're each an hour apart from each other driving. So whenever there's a big concert, everybody comes, and it's and I mean, in the beginning of last decade, where punk was kind of exploding all over the world, then you had kids from all over the country, going to shows, and the remnants of this, and mostly after mandatory military service, I mean, you had much fewer people actually staying around. And most of them moved to Tel Aviv, and the scene kind of got centralized there. And it's coming and going in waves everywhere around the world, I guess.
So would you say the scene is strongest in Tel Aviv, or is it strongest? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least historically, Tel Aviv has the most punk infrastructure. The older clubs that still kind of get what punk rock is and what it means to book punk shows. But in other parts of the country, unless it's a DIY organization and taking over youth centers.
Yeah. Also Haifa.
Yeah. There's also Haifa. Yeah.
And the scene in Haifa is good.
It's great. Yeah.
And do you guys play there very often, or?
No, not at all. I wish we could.
It's an hour away. It's very very far in Israel.
It's really another country. It's another country.
It's pretty much 60 minutes away.
You know, it's in my area code. You can visit sometimes.
No, we were gonna when we come.
So you've got a band member in another country, then? Is that
Yes, he lives in Europe.
They live in the African part of
Yeah. No. It's because Israel is so small. Everybody's so lazy. Going to Haifa for us is just a day trip, But it's also Tel Aviv, kind of a habit, to just whenever you're living in Tel Aviv, nothing else matters. It's I don't know, San Francisco in a way or something.
That's what the Metallica song is about. Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters.
It's about living in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, but we're planning on doing a show when we get back, like a release show. So we're gonna do one in Tel Aviv and hopefully one in Haifa.
And we're playing with Comeback Kid in Tel Aviv,
Yeah,
like in a couple of months.
some bands are coming over now, and like
Good. Well, I guess the instability that sometimes does plague the area does probably put off some of the bigger bands from coming over and saying, do we want to go there? Well, you know.
Well, yeah, it also makes it like clearly a political issue. So, I mean, I could definitely understand, anything. And let's not get
There are
further
issues
into
there.
that.
Exactly.
you could talk for hours.
Yeah, I could, but I'm not sure I want to.
Yeah. We probably would just sit here and have a really good conversation on it, but
Yeah, we can.
camera. So we don't want to make people hear our politics.
Totally against what's going on in our country.
I figured that was the case.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do want people to hear my politics. I just don't want to bring up too many points that will just touch too many nerves.
Exactly. Sometimes it's best to just say, don't like what's happening and close that door for the moment. Now you're having a release party. Is that a new album coming out or?
This one.
Okay.
Yes.
The one that's. Oh yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
after this tour, we're gonna do like a release show in Tel Aviv, in our country. Yeah.
And for everybody who's seeing about you, they probably won't catch you at a gig unless you're on tour. But where can they buy your material? Are you on Bandcamp?
Bandcamp and also Spam Records and La Gonia de Vivir. That's in Spain.
Kings Road Merch.
And
KingsRoadMerch.com. .eu. Google it. It's really easy.
Yeah, that's in Europe.
Right there.
Yeah, for merch also, and they can buy some. I'm not sure.
House in Tel Aviv.
No.
Also in Gutzi's bagage, in the car. In the
In my trunk, but it's gonna be like melted and kind of like wavy
Yeah.
records.
He always forgets to bring the merch. We're in Tel Aviv, like we always like when we have a show, we're like, Gutzi, please don't forget the merch. And then he comes and he's like halfway
forgets
there,
it,
and he's
right?
like, I forgot the merch. And there's like, yeah.
That's not good.
But
No.
when we come back, we will have like tons of things to sell, so that's
Yeah,
good.
left-
Right now, we don't have
leftovers.
much back home. So.
Well, something to sell is worth it. Yeah, it probably will be gone by the end of your tour.
That would be a good situation.
Where's a good piece of wood to knock on?
Yeah.
We shall find
It's all metal around here.
There is no wood here, but heads work.
Well, we're gonna have like at least 5 crates left. Well, what else?
Well, actually, I was just going to say thank you so much for speaking with us. Really looking forward to seeing you, and I hope you do come back to the UK again very soon.
Well,
We will, and it's a
have to.
pleasure to be here.
thank you for having us, and thanks for the interview.
Thank you.
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks.
Wanna be like you.